I went to the doctor. He tested me and he says, "What is this? What's going on? What are you doing?" And I told him. I says, "I told you what I was going to do." He says, we got to get you off this insulin." Hey, here we are, the real healthy you.
Welcome.
I'm Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. I'm Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi. I hope you're having a good day.
I have every day is a good day.
I know, right?
You get to that point in life when every day is a good day.
Well, what we're talking about today is going to be even a better day because we're talking about curing diabetes, curing, or reversing, and how Mom was on metformin and insulin and how she got off all of that with her diet and really doing some amazing things. So we're going to share some of that. But before we get started, I just want to make it clear that when I say cure diabetes, I mean, there's this big thing called diabetes can't be cured. There's no cure for diabetes. It's reversible though. And so for me, it's like, quit with the word games. What's up with that?
It's reversible, but it can't be cured.
But isn't
I'm
that
a little
the very
confused.
nature of it? Like when I reverse it, it goes away and you do all the tests for it and the tests are like, it's gone. You don't have it anymore, but you still have it because it's not cured. I don't get that whole thing. So maybe there's some technicality about what that means.
It's called drugs and money.
Yeah, heard that. Yes, because then if you keep having that all your life, they tell you for the rest of your life you're going to be on either these pills or you're going to have to take insulin shots. And of course, it increases. So it's not like you take this medicine, it's the same dosage forever. Years and years and years, decades, that amount is going up. We're getting into other dosages and it just keeps going. And meanwhile, science has told us pretty clearly that diabetes is a processed food issue.
That's right.
It's about eating all of this stuff that either we shouldn't be eating at all or that we've changed it so much with all of our great ideas as a human race that it's now not something that is helpful to us. And we're removing ourselves too far from whole foods.
That's why I wonder about doctors being healers, because they're really dealers, if you really think about it. They're dealing out the drugs
Yeah, I mean,
all the time.
A lot of them are. I mean, for lack of, some don't really care to know, perhaps. They're okay with the status quo, but there are lots of, even now, a lot of homeopathic, naturopathic, lots of doctors who are holistic, and it's about you as a whole person and how that's important for them to look at, not just what's physically happening, but you as a person, like your mental health, your well-being, your spiritual health, all of that in one. And so when we get into something like diabetes and we know that it's what you eat that triggers insulin, guess what? If you never ate again, you wouldn't have an insulin issue because insulin only releases when you eat something or drink something that's caloric, right? It doesn't do anything. So how are we not making the distinct connection between what we're eating and how our insulin is reacting and how the glucose levels are in our blood? I mean, does that make any sense?
No.
So,
But then again, none of it does if you really think about it. So we don't want to get that deep, but I'm one of these sticklers that, I talk to my doctors. I ask them, listen, I mean, I know you're supposed to prescribe and I get that, but I want to do something different.
yeah.
Okay, and
And they're like, sure, but your insurance won't pay for it.
won't pay
Wink,
for it.
wink.
That's what? That was
tragedy.
That was the sad part. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And will my insurance pay for 3 months from now? Oh yeah, 3 months is good. I guess that's the thing, the 3-month limit or whatever. Oh, fine, I'm good. I know I can survive for 3 months on what I'm thinking I'm doing properly for my body. I'm good because it might take a year before I die. So if I'm not
you're
doing
doing
the
the
right
most
thing,
now.
but I'm just saying, how silly.
I mean, you don't want to be ridiculous
How
about it, but,
silly, yeah.
But diabetes is something that you definitely can do something about. So if you want to even share a little bit about kind of how this started for you and what the changes were, I'm sure that would be really helpful.
Yeah. Well, I was told that I would probably have diabetes because everyone, and I'm not just saying this just to be saying it. I'm talking everyone in my family.
Hold on, 3 syllables? Was that 3 syllables?
Everyone. Yeah, that was it. Or
right,
how
go
do I
ahead.
do it? Every? Okay.
Everyone, go
So
ahead.
every like anybody or whatever. Everyone in my family had
Yeah,
diabetes.
for sure.
My mom, my father, everybody. So I was told in life that, you know what, if they have it, you're going to have it. It's just the way it is. So
Yeah.
it's not like we can turn off the genes, but we can. But that's another story. So I was determined to turn off the genes. So when I got the diabetes, I knew I was going to get it because
They told you that.
they told me that.
Right.
And guess what? I'm doing everything they do.
Right.
I deal with life like they did, the stress like they did, the food like they did.
course, yes.
So I didn't do anything different until I started realizing I got to do something different because my kids have to know stuff.
Yeah.
And in order for them to know it, I need to know it first. So I started looking, hey. And so I started looking into, dear, I'm taking insulin. I have to put this in my belly. So that's what did it for me, because I was on metformin when they first told me. They put me on metformin, but for some reason it went from metformin to the insulin. And I'm saying, what am I doing that's worse? It's getting worse. I'm doing something bad, even though I stopped the salt years ago. What's the salt? One little thing.
but
What do I
salt,
know?
yeah, that's not
And
it.
then I started studying it. I started realizing glucose. Wow. There's sugar in everything.
More,
I did it
more
again.
so now, actually.
Oh my goodness.
Much more so now.
Much more now.
Yeah.
Much more now. And so I started seeing that and I said, you know what? I've got to do something and I've got to do it quick. Why? Because not only for me, but my kids.
Yeah.
They've got to know. And if they can know years and years before me, I'm so happy. Okay?
Exactly.
So you could say I did it for my kids. I don't know.
Because remember, it's hereditary, right? And I put that in quotes, not because
Exactly.
I'm trying to say there's no such thing as hereditary things. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I would posit that it is more hereditary the way I was brought up, right? Because
That's right.
if what you ate is what I ate, and then I go give it to my children, we're all eating the same stuff. Of course, you have a better chance to have the same outcomes because you're eating the same, you're acting the same, you're doing the same, like you said.
Yeah.
So then I would be having diabetes, which honestly, at this point, I'm almost 60 years old. I have never had it, and I still don't.
No.
So this doesn't mean it's automatically going to happen, right? So anyway, so you found out you had it. You were
So I
taking
found out
insulin.
I didn't like, and the part that really bothered me, because, taking a pill, we could go take a pill, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, it's
But
easier.
now, oh my gosh. But now I'm putting a needle in. Oh, this was just too much for me. So I wasn't having it. So I started doing my research, like I said, and I started realizing this diet I'm on, or this sad diet I'm on, standard American diet, is killing me. So I changed. I started my health journey. One thing at a time, like we say, one thing at a time, and I started doing that one thing at a time. I took away that sugar because we already make glucose, the whole story. But anyway, I started looking at table sugar, and then I removed the table sugar.
And this is interesting because diabetes, I don't know how many people know this, but it used to be called sugar diabetes in the first place, right? I mean, diabetes mellitus, but sugar diabetes, it wasn't just diabetes. You know how everything's cooler when it has a shorter name, but sugar diabetes. And then my dad's side of the family is from the South, so they had the sugar. So everybody had the sugar, right? So auntie and grandma, they had the sugar, meaning they had diabetes. So it's funny that you would say, take away the salt and all that, but it's like sugar diabetes. Let's deal with sugar and things that turn into sugar very quickly, which would be carbs. So you took out the sugar.
I took
and
out
then
all the
what
carbs, and I started, like I said, my health journey. And of course, I went right into keto. I discovered keto, low carb, getting into ketosis did amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I immediately stayed within 20 grams of carbs. I was just doing my thing because I'm an all or nothing girl.
Yes,
she knows that. I'm very extreme. If you tell me what's right to do, and I get that. Like my common sense turns it right on. Whoa, you know what? That makes sense. I'm gone.
Yeah.
I just do it. It's over.
And some of you can go ahead and follow that,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
trailblazing.
yeah, but- yeah.
Or if you want to just kind of lay low and take it one step
One
at
step
a
at a time, yeah.
I'm your girl.
I'm with you. That's right.
So
She
we got
is.
both
She
sides
is.
of
You
this
got
coin,
both.
right?
That's right. You're right. She's the girl.
So did you have to reduce, or did you get off the metformin?
No, what I did was I looked, I studied all that, and I said, you know what? I'm going to mention this to the doctor. And of course, we had a conversation. And of course, you know how that was. It's good to do. Don't do that, but let's reduce you. So he brought down the metformin for me a little bit. So for about 6 or 7 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, no sugar, no carbs, low carbs. And before you know it, I went through the keto flu for about a week or maybe 10 days. After that, I was soaring.
Wow.
I'm talking energy I have never felt before in my life.
That's amazing.
So because I had the energy, I was fat burning.
Yeah.
I was cleaning. I was healing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking grand healing.
Yeah.
And so I felt so good, and I'm saying, oh God, and I'm not eating this and I'm not eating that, and but before you know it, more and more sugar's going, blah, blah. I went to the doctor, he tested me, and he says, what is this? What's going on? What are you doing? And I told him, I told you what I was going to do. He says, we got to get you off this insulin.
Uh-huh. Nice. Because your A1C dropped and
Oh
everything.
my God.
Yeah.
So now remember, I'm 12 A1C, I'm 11 A1C.
Yikes.
10 A1C. And he
kept
says,
going.
and I says, what is my A1C now? Oh, I got to tell you this first.
Okay, tell me. You've probably heard about intermittent fasting. You've maybe even tried it. Maybe it didn't work out for you. Maybe you didn't get great results. Or maybe you just need a reset. But either way, we've got this free intermittent fasting guide for you. It's got lots of colorful pictures and lots of information with a 2-week plan to get you started intermittent fasting and enjoying the amazing benefits. So check the link below if you're watching YouTube, and if you're on the podcast, check the show notes. Get that link.
And it's easier than you think.
Yeah, so go get it.
This is why I really went there real fast to the doctor. There's a store. There was a store here. What is it? Costco?
But one of those
It's one of the
stores,
big,
yeah.
it's either BJ's. And in BJ's, I was in BJ's, and in BJ's, they had a stand, a setup.
Yeah.
And they were taking people's A1C,
Oh.
and you could get the results right there because I was all I wanted to know my A1C every other day if I could, but and I couldn't. You have to go to the doctor and get your A1C test. You got to go to the lab and you got to do that.
Yeah.
But they were going to do it in the
Oh,
in the
okay.
store, and I got so
It was like
excited.
an outreach where they were trying to
That's
help
right.
people.
So
Yeah.
I was willing to stand in that long line. And I did. I didn't care because I knew at the end I was going to see what my A1C was. And I thought I was going to be proud. So I went there, and she said, your A1C is 5.9 or something to that effect. I said, wait a minute. Oh, no, lady, you have something wrong here because
Your machine is broke, lady. It's broke.
you gotta be kidding me. I would be lucky if I saw 8 or 7. Well, it doesn't lie. I says, could it be a
Wow.
little bit off? A little bit, just a little bit off. I said, well, yeah, it could be a little bit. No. Oh,
Wow.
God. I called my doctor and I says, okay, can I go get my blood drawn, please? I need to see you, blah, 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 blah. And of course, I had to make an appointment because, with the insurance, there's a certain timing, as we all know. So finally I went there, and it sure was. Only at that time, it was 5.6.
Wow.
And he says,
You're
You're
cured.
you're done.
But of course, you couldn't say you're cured.
No, you're done. You're done. So that means now the metformin is gone. Everything's gone
Yeah.
now. That's been 7 years ago.
Wow. So get this. Okay, so get this. So you're on metformin, you're on insulin, you're like, this is it for you. You got no hope for you. This is your life. Just live with it and accept it. Your parents had it, you're going to have it. Your kids are going to have it. Oh, well, this is your sentence. Deal with it. And you go from there to eating better and getting off of all the medications, and then getting all sorts of health benefits to boot, like the energy from the ketones,
The ketose, yep.
and the body just coming around to reduce the inflammation and sleeping better, and so many amazing things happen when you are not taking in all those unhealthy carbs. So how cool is that as a side effect, right?
And you know, what was really great was the fact that the energy was so high. I was so excited about the energy. It kept me going.
Yeah.
Because I was psyched. I was all over the place. I said, where is all this energy coming from? It was the fat burning. I adapted from the sugar
Yeah.
to fat.
Yeah.
And my brain loves the fat burning.
We all our brains love it.
Oh
Yes,
my
for
God,
sure.
it just loved it. So that inspired me to keep going till finally it was effortless. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, so processed food. So diabetes is a processed food disease. That's what it is. And when you start reading your labels and looking at the sugar that's in your food
Yeah.
and those packaged foods, because they got to put something in there, make them taste good because they took all the good stuff out
Right.
in the way they processed it. So when you start doing that, oh my God.
It's interesting because I would even get into the words about even disease. I mean, when I think of the word disease, I see it as something that is just going to keep going on and on unless it's cured. But they're saying you can't cure diabetes. So now, for me, it's a condition for me. Because it's at this point in time, this is the condition you have. At this point in time, you don't have that condition anymore.
At all.
So you don't have diabetes right
At
now.
all.
So they might argue you have it, but it's secretly hidden inside, whatever. But you don't. 7 years, no medication, no nothing. Your blood glucose levels, your A1C are amazing, better than the average bear, right? So it's a condition that can be changed based on what you're doing at different times in your life. And the healing power of low carb and ketosis and all of that. I mean, you have to think about the diabetes. It's not because you don't have insulin. Okay. You didn't have type 1 diabetes. You had type 2
Oh
diabetes.
no, type 2.
Right? And type
Yes.
2 diabetes is an issue with they give you insulin. So does that mean I don't have any? I don't have it in my body, so you have to give it to me? What's going on there? That piece gets completely overlooked. Your cells get the glucose inside of them because insulin brings it in. So you want to think insulin is like your plug. Like I got the plug. It's my insulin, right? So you can't get in the club without insulin. You ain't getting in. Right? So glucose is trying to get into your cell. It can't get in. Insulin's like, I got you. Insulin comes in, boom, glucose is in the cell. So it begs the question, if I'm making insulin myself
Already.
and you're giving it to me to, put it in my body externally, internally, then I have all this insulin. So how come my blood glucose levels are still high? You know why? Because the glucose is still in your blood. Still in your blood. That means it can't get in the cell. The problem is that your cell, where it accepts glucose, is what's broken, what's not working. It can't get in. And when you went to low carb, guess what started healing?
The cells.
The
The hormones were started going in
Yes.
to the cells because there's no more inflammation around it.
So it made the insulin. The insulin took the glucose, put it right
Put
in
it
the
right in
cells,
there.
and boom, it got used.
It was all over.
So that's why it's kind of, we have to be really careful about if you're taking insulin or you're taking metformin and you suddenly go super low carb without any doctor involved. Because suddenly your cells become very, very sensitive
That's true.
to insulin and you're still giving it to yourself. You got to be careful. So don't just decide, I'm just going to get rid of my insulin. I'm going to get rid. No. Yes, you can get rid of it, but make sure you do like Mom did, get your doctor involved and take it a bit at a time so that he can reduce your medications and keep some balance in your body. Because when you get rid of that mess, that's a happy day.
It really is. And it's all about the sugar.
Yeah.
You don't need that sugar. That's so bad. That
Nope, we
sugar
don't.
is so powerfully bad because the inflammation it gives your body is the cause of everything that's wrong with your body.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. And the glucose is stored. I mean, you have to understand, you're taking in all this glucose. Where do you think it's going?
Yep.
If it's not going in your cell, where's it going to go?
Right.
So some goes in your cell and you use it for energy. Yay, I got energy. That's why you crash. Because after it gets all used up, you're like, give me some more sugar. I don't have any more. But if you give all the sugar we eat in a day is so in excess, it's outrageous.
It's just outrageous.
So your body's like, dude, stop giving me stuff. I don't have anywhere else to put it. It's like you're a hoarder. Have you seen them shows on TV where the people are hoarding all these things and you can barely walk around their house?
That's it.
That's what your body looks like on the inside. When you're hoarding all that sugar, the body's like, I don't know where else to put it. So you got fat cells, you get cellulite developing. Because, fat cells hold a lot. They can expand a lot. And so you get these funny, like, cellulite, or you get these flabby places.
It's got to go somewhere.
Because it's like under here. The cells, they have to store. Like, where am I going to do with all the sugar? And the poor liver is like, oh my, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. And then you get fatty liver because the liver's like, I don't know where else to put it.
Speaking of fatty liver, just let me give a quick. The children now, we used to be concerned about alcoholics and their fatty liver. Do you know now that they're concerned about the children? The children have more fatty liver now than any of the alcoholics.
Yeah.
Because the non-alcoholic fatty liver now is from all the fructose, all the sugar that they're putting. One glass of orange juice is like 5 oranges, pure sugar. So why are the cells being damaged? Because the inflammation is killing them.
Yes, it's true. And too, is it's a kind of a 1-2 punch because not only are we eating way too much sugar in the form of actual sugar, but also carbs. We're taking in so much. Here's the second punch. The second punch is we're not moving. We're not moving. I mean, as a society, we're not. And so all this sedentary lifestyle, what is
sedentary? Sorry.
Sedentary lifestyle.
You could say sedentary. I'll learn.
What it does is now all of that stored glucose, it has nowhere to go. So even if, I think about when we were younger, we used to eat dinner. Everybody kind of ate dinner at 6 o'clock. And that's kind of, 6 o'clock is dinner time, like all the TV shows and everything. And then after dinner, a lot of times we would go for a walk. We would all just, the family, me, my brother, my parents, we just go for a walk in the neighborhood. And what does that do? That releases all the glycogen, the glucose that's inside your muscles. That gets used.
That's right.
So then what happens?
No storage.
The stored glucose now has to go replace the glycogen that you just finished using. So just by moving, it keeps everything flowing and the storages don't overflow the way that they are now. We have people who are morbidly obese. And I promise you, it's not because they are eating 50 tons of food. It's the type of food and how often they're eating and sort of the timing and all of these things that are really, really damaging. And now the body's just like, I can't.
That's right.
And they're just kind of stuck. And it's really, really sad because if they would teach us in the medical field and even teach the doctors about nutrition, which the doctors will tell you themselves, they don't really teach us that in medical school. That nutrition piece is like it's some other thing. Like it's not part of medicine or something, But what's scary about what you're saying is if they did, would we have them? Would we have the doctors on board? Think about it. Every single disease is from that diet. Yeah.
Every single disease, even cancer, is from that diet.
Yeah.
They will put poison in your body to poison a cell that's not even working because it's already poisoned.
Are you talking about chemotherapy?
Cancer, chemotherapy. They will chemo people, which goes right to the cell, is supposed to be killing the cell that's already dead.
Yes.
Because you've got cancer.
And it does, though. But here's the thing. there is environmental toxins and there are other toxins aside from food. So I don't want it to be so, I mean, we're just simplifying this, obviously, and we can talk more about it in depth. But once the cells are damaged like that, the thing about cancer is it thrives on sugar.
That's right.
Sugar literally feeds
That's right.
cancer. If you take the sugar away, it starves and it dies.
Yep.
So for us, like, this is not new information on any level. This is, it might be revolutionary to your ears, but I promise you, this is not new. Go look up any science, all kinds of things. So if we can get low carb back the way we used to be, we won't have sugar killing us the way it's doing now. But I mean,
Absolutely.
this is a train that's left the station, and it's hard to kind of get it back. But as we get more and more into healthful eating, the cancer, and then the fasting, which we'll talk about another time, which helps to get rid of the cancer cells as well. Yes, definitely.
That's the key.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And so, you know, we have so many issues that are surrounding eating, but diabetes is a huge one in, you know, in this society. And you ask yourself, like, you know, 60 years ago, people didn't have diabetes. Why do we have it now? What's going on? Why is two out of three people have either pre-diabetes,
Yeah.
insulin resistance, or diabetes?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Something affecting that much of the population, and
sugar.
that's not some kind of wake-up call, sound the alarms, oh my gosh, this is an epidemic with diabetes? Like, what's going on? Why aren't we changing our food? So that's another conversation, and you know, that's a big behemoth to attack.
Yes.
But I'm really glad that you were able to say that about the story, and so that can encourage other people to take control of your health. You know, get in partnership. Give me your arm.
Or either
Partnership with your doctor. Partnership to eat differently so that you can get off this diabetes medication.
or to at least consider it
Yes.
a possibility
Yes.
that you can make this different.
Yes.
Taking charge and knowing you can take your temple back. They don't
can.
have to keep that from you.
And not only that, this is your journey. This is your life. So if they told you you're going to be on diabetes medication the rest of your life, what do you have to lose at this point? Take it slow and low, one
That's
tiny
right.
step at a time,
Right.
and adjust your sugar levels just a tiny
That's
bit
right.
at a time.
That's right.
And we actually, you know, we talk about this in our course. We have a virtual online course that's about getting started on low carb, smash the sugar. That's the foundational.
Smash it.
Smash the sugar. Get that out of your life.